Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my beautiful channel that has now switched over from Opulence with Gia to Ripples by Gia. I'm super grateful to have you back tuning in and to be able to record this episode for all of you. And if you're new to my world and you don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm going to get into, this is just going to be a completely uncut, raw conversation between you and me. And that is all. I don't even really have I never script, I never really plan out my episodes, but however, this time I do have a topic that I would like to bring forth and speak about and how things are shifting for me. And as I said, this used to be called Opulence with Gia, has recently shifted over to Ripples by Gia. So let's start there. How about that? How about we just start about why I have made this transition and what's going on with the names? So this is not the first time that I have shifted my business name. I think it's probably the third or fourth time actually that I have done this. So I started off with the original gut when I was in holistic nutrition, and then it ended up being Connect with Gia when I got more into energy work and psychic work, and then it became um, Opulence with Gia, and now we're going to finalize it at Ripples by Gia. Now, if you've been following my journey along on Instagram, you're fully aware of what I have gone through in the last 12 months. It has not been pleasant, but it's been great. It's been great because it's landed me right here where I need to be, which is with myself, fully connected and embodied, and being able to support humanity and be that clear channel for myself and all those around me. So the reason why I've shifted business names is because my previous handle, Opulence with Gia, was given to me by someone who tried to actually take full advantage and manipulate me. And I went down this whole journey with them and so forth. And I just felt like it wasn't correct to carry on this name that came from this individual. And if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about and you're interested in knowing further, I will below in the description add a link to a podcast series that my beautiful dear friends Elise and Robin did on this topic of this individual. And you can go ahead and listen to that series about how they manipulated and sabotage and try to hijack consciousness under false light and pretending to be an imposter in the spiritual community. And I've said enough here. I'm going to leave it at that. So, of course, I did not want to carry any energy from them. And I'd like to add a disclaimer here as well. It doesn't mean if you're my client or my follower while I was Opulence with Gia that something was wrong with the energy. That is not what I'm indicating here at all. The energy, of course, came through my vessel as I had full ownership over this name. So you are in no way exposed or harmed. Your consciousness was not exposed and harmed. I was not channeling demons, none of that. I just didn't want any memory of my relationship with this, I'm doing air quotes here if you're not watching me on video, of this spiritual mentor and leader. But if you are interested in knowing what the heck happened, how did I come back, it's all in the podcast series below. And yes, my new name, Ripples by Gia, because that's always been the intention. My intention has always been to ripple out a beautiful, magnificent vibration that just flows through all of humanity of pure divine love and pure positive energy. That's always been my intention. And me, of course, channeling and being connected to the water element, it just made sense. Ripples by Gia, because everything I do in the goodness, in the kindness of humanity and myself, I simply just want it to ripple out. That's it. That's how I've come to my new name. Okay, that was an earful. That was quite a bit. The reason why I've come back and I've decided to actually continue my YouTube and podcast journey is because I still think that this platform adds incredible value to my life and to the listeners and the viewers, if you're watching me on YouTube as well. I do feel like, again, it has laid such a positive effect that I did not want to ditch this platform at all. That being said, I'm just going to dive deeper. I do have my phone out today. Like I said earlier, I never really plan or have points to talk about, but today I have made points because I really want to do justice to this episode in particular in getting my message across about what I want to really discuss, which is really my true personal journey and where I have been all these months that I have not been active on, podcasting and YouTube and so forth, and what I've been doing in this transitional period. And the reason why, again, I'm here is because simply out of integrity, I truly feel like, if you are going to hire someone or tune into someone's content, even, you should know who they are. You should have full exposure and transparency there. So just out of integrity, I feel like I don't even want to use the word explanation because I'm not really explaining. I'm just really sharing my life experience and the spiritual aspects in my evolution and ascension and how it actually happened versus how I thought it was going to happen for me. Because I truly feel like at this current moment in timeline, I am my highest self. I am living out my highest possible timeline, and none of this manifested the way I thought it would. And I thought, that's damn relatable because whose life has gone according to plan? Nobody's. And I remember sharing a bit of this with one of my clients, and her jaw dropped. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I've never viewed you like this, Gia. I've always viewed you on a pedestal, thinking you have all your shit together." And I'm like, "Girl, no, I'm here because I actually never had my shit together. I had to learn big lessons at a very young age by myself. And I want to make sure you don't have to do that. This is why I do this." Okay. So, like I said, I've changed business names, I've changed a bit of direction. I have decided the year 2025, I kind of want to take a break from being in my spiritual business. Um, so I'm not pitching sales. I'm not making offerings. I'm just not doing that for this year because that's all I've kind of done in the last 5 years. From 2020 to all the way end of beginning of 2025, I've just done creating a business, making sales, getting clientele, all of that since my awakening started back in 2016. So from 2016 to 2025, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. So I've decided to just complete that phase of my life, complete that chapter of continuing to grow and evolve and learn to achieve something, to have an outcome, a result of it. I simply just want to live and I want to learn and continue to grow just for me and to satiate my curiosity, which honestly I've learned can never be satiated because am I saying that word right? Satiated, is that a word? Or is it, I'll just use satisfied. I don't know. I don't know what word what that word means. I'm not that sophisticated. So my curiosity will never be satisfied because I signed a contract of continued growth, evolution, and learning. And I love it. I love that. So I'm continuing to grow and ascend and all of that, like I said. So this year, I have been working with clients, but they've all been referrals or past clients. So past clients, or they're being referred to me, which I'm honoring, of course. So I am still working, of course. I'm still doing clients on one-on-one, but just from past clients, or they're being referred to me. And if you are interested in Akashic record reading or one-on-one work with me in spiritual counseling or anything around that as well, you can always send me an email. I will definitely honor that. You can say, "Hey, I listen to your podcast, I listen to your YouTube, I'm interested." We'll give it a go. Not against that at all, but just saying that you will not be seeing pitches from me. And the reason why I'm saying that very clearly is because, like I said, the last four years solid, that's kind of what my content has been around. And that is now transitioning. I am just not into pitching for sales at the moment. And I don't know if I'll ever go back, honestly speaking, um, just because I'm living life and I'm loving it here. And as I have moved into this very embodied version of myself as a very clear channel, as a human, I learned a lot. It took a lot to come to this acceptance and to this highest point, you know, of ascension. And I don't even like to use that word anymore because I really feel like we're constantly on a journey of constant evolution and growth. So, do you ever really ascend? I don't think so. I don't think you ever ascend. And it's really funny because my guides had also told me that, because I got frustrated over a situation and I said, when is this going to end? When am I going to be fully ascended? When am I going to fully know? And they said that the day you die. I was like, what? What do you mean the day I die? And they literally said, the day you've learned everything you are here to learn, everything you are here to transmit, transmute, that's the day of your graduation. And your day of your graduation is the day you leave the planet. So if you're still here, you're still evolving, you're still transmuting, you're still transmissioning, you're still creating. So no, you cannot ascend here. I hope that made sense. And if you're being really hard on yourself about not feeling fully ascended, fully mastered, you're alive. And if you're alive, you're still learning and you're always going to be learning and you're never going to feel like you're complete because you are not complete. You are not. And that is not to make you feel bad about your life or to judge you. It's just, again, I'm sharing my personal experience here. That's the messaging I have around that. So don't even add pressure and get serious about life because life is going to life and you are going to continue to learn and grow and evolve and ascend. And I say that with air quotes, ascend. Because the day you're fully ascended and you know everything, it's going to be time to go. It's going to be time to go. You'll be complete. You'll be done your earth schooling. Um, yeah, so that being said, like I said in the beginning, um, I'm going to talk about my personal journey and where I've been the last couple of months. I've just been recreating foundations with myself, with all my relationships, um, with the consciousness of my business, consciousness of my YouTube, my clientele. Everything's been rebuilt for me, which is great. And also, I've had great opportunity of traveling a lot. We're in our fourth month of this year, and I've already gone to three beautiful destinations by the sea. I got the opportunity to spend some time in Florida, Dominican, and Costa Rica recently, and I'm excited to see where next I go for sure. But as I've been traveling and coming to conclusions and processing, what I've experienced through chasing ascension almost, or trying to fit in, or just being really naive, and not understanding clearly on truly what spirituality means. Because as you know, if you're a spiritual junkie, I'm gonna call you, like I am, love to learn, love to explore, up for new experiences. Sometimes that can be costly because we're so open to experiences. And my friend Robin, actually, who's a psychologist, brought this to my attention, um, that it can get you in trouble because you're always agreeable and you're always willing to do things, go things, and especially if you are gifted. And like myself, I am very clairvoyant. The imagination can imagine everything pretty much, right? If you don't have discernment around it, if you're not in control, if you're not the commander of your energy, it can spiral out for sure. So just learning how to retrieve my discernment back, relearning my psychic abilities, relearning how to revoke my consent, take my consent, do all of that. I've been learning Kriya Yoga, Tantric Yoga. I've been learning Bhakti Yoga. I'm super into ancient Eastern philosophies about the body and, the breath and so forth. So I've been doing all those practices, but in dealing what I dealt with that spiritual coach, and then having to recreate my life back from scratch, having to accept what happened to me, and moving along with that, I've just realized that in this part of the world, and online and on mainstream media, spirituality is being sold like privilege. You know, you have to be gifted to do this, and you have to have this ability and that ability, and you know, you're not awake. There's a timeline split. Some people are awake and some people are not awake. And if someone disagrees with you, immediately people are just convinced that this individual is not on their frequency match or something. And I 110% agree. I've said these things in the past, and they are true to a certain point. To a certain point. Because also what's happening here is, like I said, we're being sold this concept of being awakened, of being having our gifts be online and so forth. But the thing is, how do we really use our discernment in that and knowing that what is wrong and what is right when everyone on the planet operates differently because they have a completely unique set of coding, DNA, frequency, and consciousness? So, how do we know really what they're doing is wrong or right? Right? How do we really discern that? And I think the best possible way I have learned is that you really, really have to know that you are the commander of your energy. And you have to stay in your full-on sovereignty, in full neutrality, to have that clarity down your nervous system too, to be like, wait a moment, to be able, even to be able to question things from further clarity and understand things and how your frequency responds to other frequencies is a level of discernment that we need to practice and need to understand. But that always starts with being yourself, not ditching yourself, being in your full sovereignty, and understanding that no matter what is going on, there's a spirit inside you, there's a spirit inside in the other individual. So we're all always spiritual. Nobody is non-spiritual. Some people want to talk about it, they want to engage about it, they want to learn about it. Others don't. They want to fully participate in the matrix. And that's cool because some of us actually came here to learn the matrix, to be a part of the matrix. Not everyone came here to learn about the higher consciousness. They're playing their role and we're playing our role. Okay? I promise you I'm going somewhere with this. But the issue here is when spirituality is sold like a privilege that you have to be gifted and you have to be aware and you have to be awake, is where these so-called vulnerabilities come up in us and these triggers. And then we can, we start finding communities and healers, psychics, and shamans to go to, confide in, to connect with, to release these traumas, release blockages and so forth. And without really understanding that it truly is just all about you and your connection with the source and how your frequency responds to certain frequencies. And spirituality for everyone on this planet is inherited through their DNA from their ancestors. And we live on the planet of free will. And with our will, we get to decide if we'd like to activate it or not. Nobody can really support you in understanding these parts or fully understanding your consciousness if you are not in your body and available to understand yourself first. I'm not saying that do not seek out communities, do not seek out spiritual coaches, mentors, shamans. Absolutely. There's so much light on this planet. There are people that are 100% in their integrity and they are here to support you in, whatever you may need support in, your trauma, your blockages, understanding yourself more, understanding your spiritual gifts more. Absolutely. But that step comes after you. You always come first. You understanding you're a sovereign being, you understanding your autonomy and never giving that up. So that is step one, being yourself, being fully embodied and trusting yourself, understanding that you know yourself and you trust yourself. Because a lot of times when people are seeking to learn, and again, I'm speaking from personal experience, I was the same way. When I sought out to go learn psychic gifts and Reikis, I was very vulnerable in those periods. I felt like a black sheep in my family. I did not fit in. I was losing all my friends. I really felt like I was falling off the rails, losing my mind. And thank God I had great leaders, spiritual leaders to support me. Sorry, where I live here, if you're watching on video, my eyes are going everywhere because it's so windy here, and my neighbors in the front, their trampoline has just flown across the street. And their kids are going to be so upset when they come back from school and there's gonna be no trampoline there. It literally just flew across. Okay, anyways, back on track here. So, like I said, I was very vulnerable. And thank God I met the right people that I could confide in, and they showed me and supported me in the best way possible. But that may not always be the case. Someone can take advantage of that vulnerability. And I've spoken a lot about this to my clients and things, low frequencies and low vibrations in consciousness love low energies. There are frequency matched to that. So you may not be the worst person in the world. No. You're not this low vibrational person. You're not always miserable, but you're going through a phase in life where you're feeling really down, which is normal. It's natural. It happens to all of us, right? And in those vulnerable moments, those entities and those low vibrational frequencies that may be around you are now able to hook in because there's a leak. And you not understanding, having discernment, losing hope in yourself, feeling left out, feeling miserable, feeling like no one can understand you, you're opening up more and more for these low frequencies to come in. And this may attract a low frequency imposter, a low frequency imposter to come in to take advantage and hijack the consciousness. So, like I said, the first step definitely is understanding that you're going through a phase in your life and you will get through this, praying through it, loving yourself through it, accepting that, yeah, I'm not feeling too good, but this is not who I identify with. This is not my identity. And never doubt yourself. Because when we're vulnerable and feeling low and we're not understanding things and we're being energetically attacked because, we haven't learned how to work with our gifts and our energies, we may unknowingly consent to energies we don't want. Okay, and I'm kind of giggling about this because I totally did this. I totally did this in the beginning phases of my journey. I didn't know much until a beautiful mentor came in and taught me all about consent and taught me how to undo black magic, curses, and get rid of implants and anchors in the body through body energetics and so forth. So that can happen. So please don't doubt yourself. And if you find yourself constantly doubting yourself and you feel like that's exactly what you need support in, then you need to seek a healer. And that could also be like, a functional medicine doctor. You can definitely go see a psychiatrist if you need to just talk things through out. Absolutely. Do not close any doors at all to support yourself. Please do support yourself. But make sure the person you are seeing is someone that will hold you in full integrity, is of the divine source, is speaking from light, and is not revoking like your triggers and traumas for no reason, take advantage of them. Okay? Because also what I find is too is when we're vulnerable and we're feeling really down, sometimes we go to so discernment. We'll leave it at that. I'm gonna close that up because I feel like I'm starting to ramble on it. But it truly, I feel like what happens is sometimes when we're not finding someone that's fully embodied in their own gifts and they're not in integrity with the light, you won't get the results you're looking for. And it's very similar to how, like for an example, if you have an illness or you have a symptom and it's, you go to a doctor and they go, oh, you have this symptom. Okay, must be, this. And then you're on this medication, 4 or 5 months go by, no results, the symptom's still there, you're still not feeling too good. Then you go to another doctor in couple like in 6 months. And they're like, oh no, no, it wasn't this. I think it's turned into this. They put you on new medication, you take it, you're disciplined, you're motivated to feel better. You keep taking it, you keep doing the work, you're doing the work, you're doing the work. 6 months passed, no results. Now there's been a year and there's been an investment in two doctors and a full daily investment in working on your routine, trying to feel better and do A, B, C, Y, X, whatever it is to feel a certain way. That's exactly how I find sometimes when we are not in our sovereignty and we don't have discernment, we keep moving healer to healer, being misdiagnosed. And there's no results coming out of it. And usually because it truly is because we have no clarity. Our nervous system is just it's on high alert or it's burnt out, could be the opposite too. And we're not able to grasp discernment on what we actually need. So we're just moving healer to healer, psychic to psychic, being fully misdiagnosed. And this was a big one for me. I've been very lucky in my life where I've met real great mentors that are in full integrity, except for that one mishap. Um, that held me, nourished me, and I got results for sure. But I have a lot of clientele that comes to me with this issue. And I would say 80% of my clients have found me when they're like, you know what? I'm about to have a meltdown because I can't figure this out. And I've been to like 4 or 5 people. I've been doing my journey for the last like 8 years. I've drank ayahuasca. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. I'm like, yeah, because you're missing. You're missing. You have ditched yourself. You thought you were not good enough, that this version of you was just not good enough, but this version of you has brought you all the way here. And you're doubting everything you are doing because you don't believe in yourself. And you not being in your body, being able to be sovereign and use discernment, you are not able to clearly make choices to support the version that you actually want to become because you're missing in the equation. I'm just gonna let that sit for a bit while I drink a little bit of a water. Because this was a big one for me when I recognized this within myself in early stages, of course, and within my clientels. I just knew I had to shift my approach with clients. And yeah, and I unfortunately still continue to see it. And this is taking me back to my very first point that I made that, we're being sold all these things that like, oh, this is a privilege. This is a privilege. This is like, high frequency. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to do this. You don't have to do anything, sis or brother. You don't have to anything. You just have to remember who you are and stand in that power. Again, these are my personal things that I have come to conclusion with in the past couple of months after reassessing my entire life after my experience. Um, and I really want to talk about this too and deeper. And again, I'm going to be really, really honest here. As I'm recording this, I'm feeling really happy that I'm at this point where I can speak about this openly and really accept things and take full responsibility of the transition I'm making in my work here. I'm going to call it. I don't even want to call it a business anymore because I'm just not pitching sales and stuff, right? So I don't think the word business is even relatable to me anymore, to be honest. I just like to call it my work. This is my work. I'm here to shed light, spread truth, be internal love, and just share messages that help you become a better you. That's it. It's as simple as that, honestly. And I really want to ditch new spirituality vocabulary as well because I find it's just marketing. It's a lot of marketing that's happening and has no substance, has no frequency. It's just making people spiral. And I think in the past, I have used a lot of it. And I think I used it, again, very unconsciously, not realizing that it's just not the best way to speak about it because again, I was in business. I was trying to sell, so I did use marketing stuff. I did, right? Like marketing terms and things and I thought people would relate to these terms and it was easier for me so I wouldn't have to explain so much. Um as well like what I'm trying to say, I would just say a word and people are like, "Oh yeah, like I relate this to this." They can make own connections, but again, I'm not feeling that. I can't fuck with that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can't fuck with that anymore because I just know things how I know them. And I want to really stay true to that knowing. And I also think this is really important to bring forth as well is that everything on mainstream media, like I said, there's a lot of marketing going on, right? Especially in North America, especially the spirituality, wellness, health, industry it's a huge business and it's being sold, it's being commercialized, all of that. Because unfortunately, in this part of the world where we live, and especially where I live, I'm Canadian, we do feel disconnected from Mother Earth, especially when the winter season comes and, we have a long winter, it's not attractive. We're indoors a lot in front of our screens. We do get disconnected. So I feel like we have to make a lot of conscious effort to stay connected to source. Lots of conscious effort takes place here. And I'm going to say all of North America, right? We have to be more mindful about our food. We have to be more mindful about what we're consuming on television. What are the sounds going on around us? Making sure we don't get too caught up in the fear-mongering newses. There's a lot more mindfulness that needs to happen in this part of the world. And that is nobody's fault. It's just how the matrix is set up here. And I feel like that's also why a lot of North Americans are looking for spirituality because they're just simply missing their own connection with the divine source, universal intelligence, God, Mother Earth, whatever word you have there, you can go ahead and put it, but we're truly just missing connection. And I feel like whoever started this industry and started monetizing it for money and made it into $1 trillion industry is an absolute genius because this was the gap, right? Especially like I said, as Canadians, we're indoors so much, we're stuck in these awful winters. We do get depressed. We do miss sunshine. We miss eating fresh, clean food and all of that good stuff that makes us feel good all the time naturally. But we have to put in a lot of effort to feel good here. So we got to meditate, we have to do breath work, make sure we go outside. A lot more conscious effort is required. Also, not to say the level of manipulation that happens here is extreme. And again, I can only speak about this part of the world because I live here and I have firsthand experience. I'm not sure if you're tuning in from Central America, South America, Asia, that you may agree or disagree. And feel free in the comments to let me know what you feel like is happening in your part of the world there. But I feel like our food is highly messed with, our water's messed with, our air is messed with here. So we are feeling down all the time. And we just want to know how to digest goddamn bread. Like, really, we just want to eat bread. Like, that's the other thing, too. That's why a lot of us trying to catch flights to Europe because we're just literally trying to eat real food half of the time. I'm sorry. And I'm laughing at this, and maybe I shouldn't be, but I find this so funny because it's so true. Half of the world just half of the world here is just trying to figure out how to digest things because our food is so manipulated and messed up with that like it's hard. And we have to pay attention to our digestion, which again is supposed to be a really natural, easy process. Like we're not even supposed to think about it. Like breathing, like we need to do mindful breath work here for vitality and growth and lung capacity and all of that because again, we're our postures, our lifestyle just doesn't do it for us. Like I said, that's just the way the matrix is set up here. It's nobody's fault. But, my point really here is that this is a major gap and people are taking advantage of it, right? And so is the system. It's taking full advantage of that. And so when all of that is happening, right? When your body, this is what I want to get to. When your body, like I said, everything's manipulated. There's a lot of stuff that we shouldn't be eating that's put in our food. We're eating it. We're unconscious, whatever, right? About it. Sometimes it's not even about spirituality. It could literally just be a parasite in your gut, but we're in the health and wellness industry, and they're always talking about mind, body, soul connection. And I've seen this happen. Thank God this has not happened to me, but someone actually is physically sick and they've gone into complete spiritual paranoia that they are being psychically attacked. People usually say in social media too that so these things are ascension symptoms, but they could really just be physical. So, what I'm getting to here is that when we are in this curiosity of growing and evolving to our highest self and getting out of the matrix and so forth, we miss a lot of our reality. We sometimes lose the concept that we are actually in a very physical human body that we need to also look after. And it's not all spiritual. And yeah, you may be feeling emotions that you don't like and you don't want to feel, but that doesn't mean you're vibrating low or you've dipped into lower consciousness. No, it could honestly be your body signaling that, hey, I need a little bit more love here. But it's honestly becoming spiritual paranoia. And that's also why, just kind of, again, I'm going to kind of come back to this point every time is that stay grounded in your roots, stay grounded with yourself. If you're being psychically attacked, you will know. You'll be the first person to know because it is you. And be super mindful too of what you're consuming and what you're reading up on and if the frequency of that does resonate or not. Because like I said, it doesn't have to be spiritual. It could be your physical. And if you're like me, and I don't know how much of Ayurveda the listeners know here, I'm a Vata. My dosha is Vata. That's my predominant dosha is Vata. All my energy spirals up in my head, and I'm very clairvoyant. And I love to be in the astral realms. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite place ever. And that's actually why I have not engaged in plant medicine because I will not be coming back. If I ever take ayahuasca, I'm gonna love that shit. I'm gonna love that dimension, and I'm not gonna want to come back. And I will end up in a loony bin. I very clearly know that because I love being there. But here's the issue. Here is the issue with that. I get super ungrounded. I lose the connection with my body. So I have to be super mindful of being grounded in my body and staying connected to my nervous system and seeing facts for facts. And I make a conscious effort of this every single day now. You don't want to go in a spiritual psychosis. So also, when you are being a sovereign being, and you are staying connected in your roots and being grounded there. So you can use full discernment while making your choices and picking your healers and mentors and avenues that make you feel the best. You need to be with your body, and your body is not separate. You are your body, and your body is you. You are one. You're a consciousness that works in full collaboration together. And I don't like it when mainstream media says, oh, look at your body. No, it's you. What do you mean, look at your body? You're looking at you. You're a whole, complete person. That's also something I learned. And using more high level discernment as a spiritual being, that you need to be in your body and you need to attend to your physical needs. So you stay in your body and you stay grounded and you understand what your body is showing you, is signaling to you, and when it's the appropriate time to take spiritual action or physical action or emotional, mental action, whatever that action is. And you will know. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Um, hmm. Let me take a sip of water. And I don't want to make this a very long thing. I honestly don't, because personally for me, like I said, I'm a generator in my human design as well. I don't really identify with it anymore. I've kind of shifted out of that as well. I'm a part-time generator, part-time projector, even though projector's nowhere in my chart. But I like it more. Like I'm a projector. I need my sleep. I need my space. I need to be able to project my creation and my consciousness and my expressions and all of that as well. Maybe make a different episode on that. How I don't identify with a lot of the astrology stuff, a lot of the human design stuff, no longer as well. But I will be more consistent on YouTube, so you'll hear from me a lot more and that forth. But I do want to close on. I totally forgot what was I going to say, why I mentioned I was a generator. I just remembered. So I don't like when things are really long. Like I don't like long movies. I don't like long podcasts because I lose attention span. Like I can't sit there for an hour. It's impossible for me. Like even right now, I'm like, oh my gosh, let's speed this up. So if you're finding I'm talking really fast, I'm sorry. That's just how I operate. Maybe slow down the speed here. My apologies, but I do want to give a closing note and chapter on this. As I said, I've been rebuilding foundations and so forth, and today where I am is so special to me because I crave to be here for years. I crave to be here for years. I am living solely for me. Of course, I am a channel for the waters, for Mother Agua, for my light beings, and I stay very connected. I do my spiritual practices and so forth. Absolutely. That's just who I am in my core. That will never change. And of course, there's so much to learn. I've just started learning the yoga techniques and tantric, and I can't wait to go more and more into it. But here's the thing where I am today and everything I've spoken about today. I really hope it was helpful and it was impactful because discernment and being in my full body embodied as a channel and understanding that I am me and I am my best version always. I am never not complete. I'm always complete. This took a long time for me to understand, and it cost me a lot. A lot of investments and a lot of stuff. But the final note here is that I don't believe in becoming a healing project. I just don't believe it. I believe your being is being the way because it's being either it's signaling to you something needs to change or shift or evolve, or it's your environment. But we are truly meant to be in the moment, present, and to never have judgment of who we are being in that moment, not to judge your being for being in that moment. Whatever that label is, it's good or bad, it's loud or quiet, it's mad, happy, whatever it is, your being is just being and let it be. Let it be. Your being is always showing you the path. And I just don't believe in becoming a healing project. Because when you become so invested in healing and taking out the traumas and taking out the blocks, which again, I'm not saying don't do it. You should do it because you probably do need it if you are, someone seeking this. But enjoy yourself and don't ditch yourself and don't look at yourself as a healing project because you're always complete. What I truly believe in now is creation. What can I create? Okay, I'm not feeling good right now. What can I create out of this energy? How can I transmute this energy? How can I alchemize my experience right now? And I don't move fast with that. If I'm feeling not so good, I will sit there and feel not so good. But the next day I will get up and I'm like, okay, fuck that shit. That shit's not gonna affect me. I'm not that person. I don't identify with, whatever's coming up. I identify with this. So how am I gonna, what is there to do to feel like this again and to become this again? And it's speaking to yourself and having conversations about creation, not just about trauma and healing. So changing the conversations around you as well that are not always about healing. There's a time and place for it. Absolutely, there is. But not always, because I'm finding again and again and again and again that people are really invested in healing. What are they healing? They don't even know sometimes. Some of them have no idea. And that's okay. That's also okay because even in that not knowing, you are still complete. You are still complete. And I don't believe in becoming healing projects. And when my clients are done their sessions with me and when they are done their containers, well, I don't like that word anymore either. I think I'm gonna call it divine ship or something. I don't know. I gotta switch that up. If you have a word for that, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. But and when they come to an end with me, like they're ending their sessions or they're offering whatever they pick with me, I celebrate it. I literally call it their graduation ceremony. I'm like, today you are graduating. You've made it this far with me. Now it's time for you to move on. Now it's time for you to go live. You've done your work. You're good. And they agree with me. They're like, yeah, Gia, like I actually came to this session and I have nothing to say. I have nothing to bring up. Yeah, I'm like, because it's over. It's done. You're not healing anymore. Let's talk about what you want to create now. What are you looking forward to? Let me help you in that. Let's alchemize. Let's activate those grids now. And we do energy work and we activate those grids and we push things forward and so forth. We have conversations and we move it. We move it together. And of course, I give them tools and resources that they continue to go and evolve and so forth. But I no longer believe in just constant healing. Oh, something happened. Oh my God, what did I do? What did like they over analyzing things, over analyzing, trying so hard to find meaning of everything, trying so hard to come to a conclusion. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Life is too short. Life is too short. You're here to live. You're here to live. And I promise you, oh my gosh, I hope my laptop doesn't die. Oh no, I should have plugged it in. But I promise you, if you are not liking something and you just can't find the answer for it, and you're just in this like icky, mucky situation with yourself or whatever's going on, you're like, I don't feel good. I'm trying to distract myself. I'm working out. I just don't feel good. Go lock yourself in a bathroom or a room where you're not disturbed for 1 hour in the darkness and talk to yourself out loud. Talk to yourself out loud. Do this for 5 days, every day at an hour, and up to 5 hours alone in the darkness. I promise you, you will have all your answers. You may even get them the second and third day, but I encourage you to do up to 5 days. And if you're afraid of the dark, you don't have to do it exactly how I'm saying to do it. Disclaimer there as well. But what I really mean is find a private place where you're comfortable and talk to yourself. For me, it's my closet. I will literally go and I will sit in my little closet. I will close the door and all the blinds, and I'll just sit with myself and have a whole conversation about the situation that's irritating me. And by the end of it, the end of the hour or 2 hours, I have my solutions. Because who knows you better than you? Who knows your consciousness better than your consciousness? Who wrote that soul contract before the soul came into this being? It's you. It's you. Let me remind you of that. It is all you. It has always been you, and it always will be you. Yes, I'm here to guide you, and I love you, and of course, I will support you in any way possible. But I will always bring you back to you, to your core, to your consciousness, to your highest self, activating all those grids that are meant for you and only you. Please go live your life. Please go live your life. Do things you want to do. As simple as that. And like I said, I will be back with more episodes about the body and the consciousness and all of the good stuff that we love talking about on this podcast for sure. But I really just wanted to give an update about the biggest lesson I've learned and how I've come to be this being in this very present moment. On that note, I love you all so much. Everyone who's been sending me their family members, friends, coworkers, and all these beautiful referrals. I love you all so much. And if you haven't sent me any referrals, I still love you. I'm so grateful for your presence in my life. And thank you so much for tuning in to Ripples by Gia today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and leave a comment on anything you resonated with. And if you didn't resonate, then for sure leave a comment. I love you all so much. Continue to live, breathe, and cherish your life. Until next time, ciao.